I'm Luke Schumann, owner of Hazzard Fabworks in Spokane, Washington. We're a custom four-wheel drive and off-road shop. We build everything from trucks and Jeeps to custom Ultra 4 cars and everything in between. Our kind of motto is we'll pull your weeds if you pay our rate. And this is kind of a different but cool JK. How we like to build a JK, the difference in this one is it's right-hand drive, which in a lot of cases doesn't make much difference other than you're on the wrong side of the road when you're driving. But when it comes to packaging a long travel strong and nimble suspension, there are some definite challenges that go with that. This Jeep in particular, it's a 2008 right-hand drive two-door Jeep Wrangler with supercharged 3.8. It's got a RIP supercharger on it, which definitely makes a big difference, helps out a lot. Poison spider body armor, rock sliders, rear bumper. Up front we put a Warren winch, rigid light bar, truck light LEDs. From there we get to the stuff that I think is more interesting, what actually makes this Jeep work and drive as good as it does. What we have is we have a progressive coil spring and a King bypass shocks. What we're doing there is adding progression into the suspension with the spring rate as well as the shock valving, which makes an incredible difference. Makes it ride really supple and nice on the street. It also makes it so when you're on the trail you can go over big bumps and big holes and not blow right through the suspension into the bump stops. From there we have so it's got the Spicer Crate Dana 60s in it. Well, they never made those that work with a right-hand drive Jeep. Not all of your suspension geometry, but all your steering and track bar geometry is backwards. Doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but they built the JK around a certain way, and this one's backwards. So high steer arm had to be custom machined. Knuckle had to be custom machined to make that and keep exact perfect geometry. Track bar bracket has to be custom, and there's no room to put a track bar bracket because there's a diff in the way. It's just very tight, lots of time spent to make this one work right. Components we use in a typical JK build for us to someone of this level are basically the same. It's got a Synergy suspension, heat-treated chromoly long arm on it. It's got their heat-treated chromoly steering on it. It's got PSC, their complete kit, but being as it's a right-hand drive, is a different steering box, but it is their hydro assist kit. Works very, very well. The diffs have 538 gears. The nice thing about the Spicer diffs is you get a huge U-joint when you do that. You get a very strong housing that's still high clearance, but the difference between them and a lot of other companies is you also get a big brake upgrade. So with this one you do a bigger brake master cylinder and booster, and then you also get huge brakes with it. So when you're putting 40-inch Nitto tires on something, it really makes a difference to be able to stop them. On that note, then we're into, it's got a 40-inch trail grappler on it. It's got Raceline Monster bead locks. Work very, very well. We drive this thing on the street. It drives absolutely perfect. We wheel it, air it down, runs great, air it back up, drive it home. Works very, very well. A big thing that we did different on this, being as it's two doors, we did a stretch on the rear. So it's got about a 4-inch stretch. The fenders are made for it, and then all the links were custom made longer, but that makes kind of a problem when it comes to shock and coil spring packaging. So this thing has about 2.5 inches of lift, but it runs a 5.5-inch rear coil because of the fact that it's leveraged in front of the axle. It's got a rock hard bolt-in cage, which works out pretty nice. This one's got a stereo and some other stuff in it. Nothing too crazy, just a nice comfortable Jeep you can drive on the road, put your family in it, AC, cruise control, everything works. That's kind of the plan, is go wheel it hard, drive it down the road, be comfortable.
Spokane, Washington. I'm going to take you guys to our first shop visit here today. Well, I'd say this has got to be it right here. What's going on? Dude, this place is amazing. The showroom here, every four-wheel drive guy's like dream house right here.
Any given time, 35 trucks here. 35 trucks.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Nice. definitely not your average JK. What is up, YouTube? Matt McAdam here, your truck editor at Driving Line. It is a beautiful day up here in the inland northwest United States. I am in the heart of the city of Spokane, Washington. Actually standing on the bridge here, right next to a really cool waterfall. This is the Spokane River. It comes right through town over here. I'm right by the Washington Water Power Company, and this is the Upper Falls Power Plant where I'm standing here, where they get all their hydroelectric power. They've been around since about 1922. Really cool old buildings here. This bridge is really nice to get a good view of everything around here. So what I'm doing here this week in Spokane is featuring some of the local off-road shops that really make this place a buzz and a place for adventure. There's a few shops here in town that I wanted to check out, and one I'm going to show you guys today and tomorrow. Now, this is actually my first time here in Spokane, Washington. It's beautiful. I've never been to this area before. We're right on the border of Idaho and Washington up here in the northwest. But it's not the Pacific Northwest, it's actually the inland Northwest, but more of like grasslands and hills, and kind of blends more into the plains, but still very mountainous, a lot of trees, fresh air. It's beautiful up here. It's really nice to get away from the hustle and bustle of SoCal and get up here and escape for a little bit. And I think that's what drives a lot of people to come up here and do all their adventure. As beautiful as it is here in downtown Spokane, I'm going to take you guys to our first shop visit here today, and the shop is called Hazzard Fabworks. You guys may know them. They build Jeeps, they build trucks, they build UTVs, anything off-road. These guys know what they're doing. It's really awesome. I can't wait to go see what he's got cooking up in there. Of course, being the truck editor at Driving Line, I couldn't just settle for any rental car, so I got myself a Ram. All right, so we're just making our way downtown through Spokane right now. A lot of cool buildings here. Like any other city, old downtown area, it's pretty nice. They got, you know, restaurants and shopping and stuff like that around here. It's pretty cool. It's actually pretty nice. I like it here. It's my first time in town, my first time ever in this area, and it's beautiful. It's a nice change of pace from suburban Orange County. So. Well, I'd say this has got to be it right here. All right, well, we just got here to Hazzard Fabworks. This is definitely the building here. A bunch of Jeeps and trucks in the parking lot. Let's go see what they got going on inside. I recognize this Jeep. What's up, Chris?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, man. Good.
So, what's this doing here?
Well,
you're from Seattle, so you're a little ways out from Spokane.
Yeah, no, this is actually my wife's. We dropped it off over here a couple months ago. Just now getting a chance to get over here and pick her up, but
looks good. Definitely different from last time we saw it.
A little different, yeah, a little different. 19 JL, just did 60s underneath of it. Some KMC wheels, kind of a mix of Synergy and Fox suspension with just some simple bits on it, and then of course do the rock slide drop down steps, make it easy to get in and out of. Yeah, turned out good. Yeah, it turned out good. So
nice and low on 40s.
It is low. It's only it's 2 inches, so it's 1.5 inch, 2 inch lift. So low, wide, stuffs up nice. The guys here at Hazzard always do a good job. They always go the extra bit just to make sure, you know, with full bump and full stuff, nothing's rubbing. So yeah, it turned out good. They always do it. They always got a ton of stuff here. So
like, so this is your shop of choice. You're 4 or 5 hours out.
Yeah, it's a good 5 to 6 hour drive over. But Luke's, I've known this guy for years, and his team here, they always do a good job. They always turn out some cool rigs. They always got like 20 projects going on inside, and
I can't wait to see it.
LS conversions and 60s and doing gears and fleet work and a little bit of everything. Like, they're always kicking ass in here.
Yeah, so these are the guys.
Cool place.
Awesome. Well, let's go inside and meet Luke. Yeah. Maybe he's in here. Yo.
How are you, man?
Good, man. Good to see you.
What's going on? So this place is pretty cool, dude. We were just checking out some of the rigs in the parking lot, and I found Chris out there looking at his own Jeep. So
what else you got going on in here?
Dude, this place is amazing. The showroom here is just like every 4-wheel drive guy's like dream house right here.
Yeah, we got we're a lot of shop and a little showroom, but we do stock parts. We do a lot of, next day or delivery on stuff too. We got some of the hard parts, some of the fabrication stuff that people like, heim joints and brackets and tabs, and a lot of times someone needs just a tab, we can make it on our CNC right there for them.
So if you're local and you're working on your rig in your garage and you need something quick, and it's during business hours, you can just come in here and check out what they got here at the showroom.
Absolutely. It's not a long time. I'll get it for you and have it waiting for you here the next day.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man.
You got on back, anything cool?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
This is the war room in here, huh? Yeah. Lunchroom, war room. Wow, check that out.
Any given time, 35 trucks here.
35?
So, we got a lot of space. There's 14,000 feet here, and a lot of the stuff we do doesn't actually require a so-called bay or door or hoist. So
yeah,
we're big on, we do all sorts of different stuff. Everything like this truck, 16 Ram, 410 gear package, running 35s, tows a lot. So we're doing AEM 410s, a nitro gear, bearing kits, and a nitro front gear on it. Diff covers. We're one of the few shops around that actually sets up gears and
in-house. Yeah, that's
in-house
awesome.
And knows the difference in how to adjust pinion depth and backlash to make things right. Programming on that truck to make the gear ratio happy and make the truck work right. This guy understands that the truck was better in factory form as far as transmission shift points and things, and he wanted that back after he went to big tires. And, same thing. We preach all the time. There's lots of benefits to big tires, of course, but you also need to make the rest of the truck happy to go along with it.
Exactly.
Do it done right.
Yep.
We've all had trucks that weren't done right.
Exactly.
Once they are done right, you'll never go back. So.
I see a fifth wheel gooseneck hitch going on here.
Yep. So it's Highway Products aluminum flatbed. Spare tire, winch, strobe beacons, lots of that kind of stuff. Make everything work right, integrate everything really nice. A lot of the newer flatbeds and stuff all come plug and play.
Yeah.
So something we're going to do different on this one is we're actually doing 3" by 1" UHMW in between the flatbed and milling it out for all of the accessories. So it's actually true and flat, and everything's actually milled out. So everything fits right, and the bed U-bolts on properly. And other people like to use wood or
to minimize the rattle and make it nice. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not that day age anymore. So.
Yeah, we're a long ways from wood these days.
Yeah.
I gotta stop you here because I gotta know what this thing is over here. Like I kind of have an idea. I kind of have an idea of what it is, but I've never seen something this wild before.
This is the only one in the shop that's not a customer.
So
this one's mine. So this is what I've kind of called the trophy Jeepster.
Jeepster.
And this is not a standard Jeepster like you're used to. This is the 49 VJ3, which is the round back two-wheel drive car in its day. This is the tube chassis, big king shock package, LS power, trailing arm, torque 14 bolts, just big parts, 40 spline axles.
Yeah. It's like the Jeepster Ultra 4 car.
Exactly. Another ultra rare build. That's for a great customer of ours. It's a 44 Dodge Command car.
It looks like an old Power Wagon up front.
That's like a Power Wagon nose, but it's more of like a crew cab design. It was a personnel hauler in the military, and he wanted something that he could drive, and these were sketchy at best to drive when they were doing good. So we put it on a 3rd gen Dodge frame, rebuilt the axles, narrowed the frame up. It's got a 4BT Cummins with some mods to it, added a turbo and intercooler.
Yeah.
It's got a G56 6-speed transmission. So basically the goal is something that he can drive, and he can have a good set of tires to drive it down the road, and then he'll have a set of military tires. It's like a parade or something.
Yeah.
We finally decided on a color. It's pretty close to going to paint and body now, and then it'll get finished up.
You guys shortened the chassis though, right?
Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah.
And it needed a frame anyways. It had an old seat channel frame with, it had I-beam in it. It's old military stuff. So that needed an update anyways.
Yeah.
So Hydro Boost brakes, and just make it something we can drive and work.
Just looks old, but it's got a bunch of modern parts in it.
Yeah. It was pretty beat up, so we did a lot of body work to it, but it's coming along pretty nice.
This is super unique.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Big old drop tailgate.
Yeah. With some storage inside of it. The original bin on that thing?
Yeah.
Take a quick closer look at it.
Original tag on it in brass.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
It's only six digits. Now we're at 16 with letters. I just love this thing. I can't wait to see this done.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cool one.
I hear you're the man around here.
Yeah, Fab like that.
Yeah, tell them Matt. Nice to meet you. It's cool stuff you guys got going on, man.
Yeah.
It's a Comanche over here, MJ.
Yep. So MJ, we're LS swapping. So
Oh no way,
lots of LS swaps around here, and Hemi swaps. And
dude!
Coyote
That
swaps.
thing just barely fits in there.
That's cool.
It's super tight. The front of these is very narrow, so it requires a car intake, very wide accessory package. Doesn't look like it. We're in the middle of everything, but it's actually really close to running. It's got fuel line. We just got that fitting today, so we'll be able to finish the fuel line. We're doing all factory style fuel lines and quick connect factory style stuff.
Yeah, super easy to service and easy to work with.
Yeah, just make it nice. I don't know how together or apart it is, but
Nice.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice.
So our car in there.
Logo.
Manual valve body.
No, it's a 460, but it's, if you see on the other side of the column there's a control that he can actually shift it manually, or it can be a standard automatic. So,
okay.
That's
cool.
a wiring thing a guy does here in town.
I got to talk to you about that because you guys know, I'm eventually going to LS swap my Toyota, and I've been thinking about what kind of transmission I want to run. I've always thought manual valve bodies are cool until you have to drive it in traffic, and then it's just like annoying to have to keep shifting the thing. So I might want to talk to you about that one.
That's a cool way to go. I like a manual valve body, but it's always nice to be able to let somebody else drive your truck.
Yeah.
Right, with a manual valve body, you're like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, you got to shift it for you. Yeah.
When you put it in drive, you just start it in third and burn up my converter.
Exactly. Yeah. This one looks like it could have made it a little farther than OJ did, but.
This is not your average OJ Bronco.
That's cool.
Oh, you did not. That is awesome, man.
5-liter Ford Coyote motor, automatic transmission, manual shift T-case, all late model stuff.
Yep.
We're gonna make work in this thing. Dakota digital cluster, and yeah, we're getting pretty close. It'll probably run this week yet.
This is the truck motor?
Yes.
5.0? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this is quite a few challenges with such a big motor.
Yeah.
But it's been done before. We have, so which means we can do it. And,
yeah.
And here we are. It's real close to running. The fuel system's done now. Yeah, the Coyote is something that we've done less of those swaps compared to LS or Hemi swaps and stuff. But that's pretty much the same with everybody, And so it's just another challenge we're happy to take on. And it's been a lot of fun. And we're, all the challenges that we know of are overcome, and we're pretty much here to, it's gonna fire and run. We got it. He had a list of a couple other things we're gonna do suspension wise. It's already got some long travel stuff on it, so yeah, a few things and he'll have it back. So
I'm actually surprised at how well it fits in this engine bay. This motor is like, you put a Coyote next to an LS and it's insanely wide.
Yep, it is big. So, it all things said and done, it fits in there pretty nice, but it's not easy. Getting in and out is not easy. It's a massive pice.
Yeah.
It doesn't have this side header on. The headers are a challenge, but it goes in there. It works just like anything else. It works.
Yeah.
I won't tell anybody it goes right in.
No, it's not a weekend swap.
No, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be clean. We got a lot of wiring to finish up, and but it's really not a lot of wiring. Some wiring to finish up, but a lot of things to get tidied up and.
Well, the Ford purists will be happy to see this one because everyone's like, "Why would you LS swap a Bronco? You guys are horrible. You're gonna go to hell." Blah blah blah. Or kitten dies every time you LS swap a Ford, but this time you guys won.
I tried.
Luke's got your back, man. This is the Washington law you were talking about there, Chris?
Yeah, there you go. There's your custom mats so you don't get your $180 ticket.
That's a way to get around it.
I mean, it's not very often that I get to say this, but we don't have that law in California, or at least it's not enforced.
Yeah.
So I guess it's one win for us.
Depending on where you're at, it's worse or bad, or how you're driving, or what your vehicle looks like.
Yeah.
That's another thing to point out. These are some of the challenges we're.
Is that a wire nut?
Just some of the things we're fixing.
When you let general contractors do your wiring,
you just want to like turn it off.
Right.
You take those apart. Note for you guys: don't put wire nuts on your vehicle. Just. I can go down a list of reasons why you shouldn't, but I'm not even going to go there. Just don't do it.
Just say no. Just say no.
JK in here.
Yep, another JK. We did a JKS J-Spec kit on it. We pulled in, we shake down the front end like we do to every vehicle, and it had a loose drag link, and the ball joints were hammered, so we got some ball joints coming. He was not getting death wobble, surprisingly, but it was pretty hammered.
Yeah, those are the usual suspects for death wobble. But yeah.
So we're gonna put some Dynatrac ball joints in it, and we got some 35-inch grapplers and some KMC wheels we'll throw on it. It'll look really nice.
Awesome.
Now the noise.
I love Jack. Oh wow.
Nah, not a fan.
Nope.
Yeah, not my favorite place to put it, but.
That's a G. Yeah, that's a G.
I mean, personally, try to stay away from high lift jacks as it is.
We have a lot of better options now.
Nowadays, it's not 1978. You don't need your grandpa's farm jack anymore.
Better and safer, and it's not going to kill you, Jack.
Exactly.
It's a lot better way to go.
Does anybody actually ever go down with a high lift jack? I always drive right off of it.
That's how people get hit. We were at KOH a couple years ago. One of the guys that was racing, he was IFS car, and he going up the waterfall and wrecking ball, broke a front CV shaft. So he pulls out, grabs his high lift to jack up the car, and excited, hurry, right? Got a spare, and lifts down, doesn't hit the decent. Let's go. Boom. Boom. Hits him on the top of the head, knocks him out cold. So at the top of wrecking ball, he's out cold. Co-driver runs over, wakes him up, yelling medic and screaming, and
oh no,
he got back in, and he got back in the car, but we had to call the race because he was making bad calls and
just couldn't do it.
But that was high lift jacks will get you.
Yeah, definitely try to stay away from those as much as you can. That's
I always like to look in toolboxes just to see.
Oh, they know what they're doing around here.
Yeah, just
wait.
Sometimes it's a good.
Where's the 10mm?
Yeah, probably lost.
I don't see a missing one though, so you're good. Looks like everything's in order though. Yeah,
pretty good.
Chris, everyone's got this drawer.
Yep.
Does he get a passing grade?
No, all the essentials. It's always nice to see.
Well, he's got tool carts, so you can't judge him.
All right,
fair enough. They all got tool carts.
Right. So this door says keep out, but it's open. So
well, I'll let you.
We're gonna walk through it anyway.
This is our. This used to be our inventory. This was all shelving and a mezzanine that we had. We stored everybody's junk forever.
Yeah.
And
how long did that last?
In here.
Yeah, we were just out of space, and so we took down the entire mezzanine. And this will be more workspace. Part of this wall will get taken out, and it's just part of the business we're in. Is your truck comes and we put a 3RZ swap in this Toyota, and then you decide as you're going along you want to do a cage. Okay, well, 4x4 Innovations cage is the only way to go on a truck like this. Well, they're 8 weeks out.
So it's sitting here.
So it's sitting here. It'll probably go back to him and come back, but you know, a lot of customers aren't from here either. So the truck gets done and it has to sit here for a week or 2 weeks or hopefully only an hour, but usually it's more like a week or two.
He's got the NASCAR mud flaps, Chris. Where you got with that?
Those are right next to the Naked Lady ones. Those are highly sought after.
Yeah, this guy is Toyota guy all the way. Marlin crawler sticker, freaking NASCAR mud flaps, dents, rust all over it, cut body. Looks like a tin can, but it's actually pretty clean in here.
And Tacoma dash, we did a 3RZ.
Because of the 3RZ swap, yeah. So if you guys don't know, the 3RZ is essentially the 22RE's older brother, or older brother. The 2RZ is a 2.4 liter, 3RZ is a 2.7, and as Luke was mentioning to me, it is a pretty easy swap, right?
Yeah. Surprisingly, this is like an 89 truck, and that was a 96 Tacoma. Yeah. And a lot more stuff than you thought would plug in. You got to swap sides on a bunch of stuff and change a bunch around, but things like the headlights plug in, things like the heater box plug in.
Yeah.
You know, once we put the dash in it, everything plugged in, and looks like a Tacoma.
And you got rid of all those wonky vacuum hoses that come on the 22RE. And
cool. Well, and once you mount all the components, as far as it knows, it's a 3RZ Tacoma. So
that's simple. It's nice and clean in here.
yeah,
easy to work on too.
And it's a, you know, it was like a 120,000 mile truck that had a rebuild like 2 months before it got crashed. So we know it's a good motor. It's a little dirty, but that's part of it, you know.
That's just Toyota guy.
Yeah,
that's just how
it's
it is.
perfect. And you know, I've been wheeling with this guy in this truck for a lot of years. Back when I had a 22R, and we did a lot of our week and 2 week long adventures with this thing, going 30 miles an hour up Sunset Hill. And so it'll be fun to be able to have some power. And
I may be a little bit biased, but you never see Toyota guys at car shows with their hoods up because it's really, really gross usually under the hood. But then again, at the same token, you never see them with their hoods up on the trail because the thing never gives up.
Yep.
They just keep going. Classic Bronco here.
Shoebox Bronco. Yeah, this is a
nice.
We got in this build a little bit late, and we're just cleaning up a bunch of stuff, a bunch of wiring, a bunch of finish work, and a bunch of drivability and runnability issues. And we got to the bottom of that. We've had some great help from some of the business partners and stuff like this on, you know, people like Fast and stuff like that helping us out.
Yep.
There was a lot of issues with this one, and it took some smart people and
come together and put their efforts together. Yeah.
Right now the ECM is off for an update. Had to go back to Fast so they could update it to the tunable. We're dealing with some low vacuum numbers because it's got a big cam, and the early system wasn't able to tune that out. But yeah, manual, AC, nice clean.
Yeah, manual. Like that.
Yep. Twin stick.
Air conditioning.
Yep. Vintage air conditioning, and it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Got the awesome 90s roll bar.
Roll bar.
Yep.
Mastercrafts.
A little buggy over here too.
Yeah, this is actually one of my employees. This is his lunchtime project. He's 100% built this on his lunch.
Really?
And we picked up this chassis from, I think it's Rock Lizard. Is that right? I'll verify with him.
Where it from?
He bought it from, I think, Rock Lizard out of Salt Lake, and it's just a little quick, easy chassis kit for the Toyota guys. And he's had a bunch of Toyotas, and he's had all the big 110 42 Toyotas, and he just kind of decided he wanted to get back to his roots in rock crawling. And so
it's cool.
You can't hardly beat the quick, dirty, easy chassis. And so
just a Trust factory Toyota housing and full hydro.
Full hydro, double triangulated 4 links. Front will have a carrier bearing, standard W56 and a 4.7 case. Pretty straightforward.
That's a solid little buggy, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be super reliable, and
yeah,
it's cool.
A newer Super Duty up here.
Yep. So this customer who had some Fabtech shocks needed rebuilt, so pulled his shocks off, rebuilt all 4 shocks while we were here. Needed some brake work, so you know, pads, rotors, rebuild 4 shocks, put it all back together, and he'll be back on the road.
I think it's really cool that you guys are like a full service shop. It's not like you just have a bunch of long-term builds in here, and it's not like you have just a bunch of 1-dayers. It's like you guys can do everything.
I always said, you know, I'll pull your weeds if you pay me the rate, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we end up doing some of this weird stuff. We built trailers with hydraulic lifts on them and crazy crap. And it is what it is. It's a simple thing, right? If you want me to do your brakes, or you want me to do your 3RZ swap, or put your flatbed on, you know, it's pretty straightforward, low dollar amount shop, and we got to keep a lot of builds going, and we got a lot of smart people here, you know, to do things efficiently and do whatever you want.
That's really cool, because a lot of times you find guys who are, their specialty is off-road and 4x4, but they have so many long-term builds in here that they cannot work on anyone's, like, you know, just getting a set of shocks redone, or getting some brakes redone, or re-gearing it for a day.
Little things like everyone got a Jeep. Every truck out there's got, they say, oh, it's lifted, that's why it drives like that. And that's so wrong. That is not the case, you know? It's lifted, it should drive better. It should ride better, it should drive better. And if it doesn't, swing by. It'll take 5 minutes and let me show you what's going on and why it is. You
Explain to you what's going on with it. Yeah,
all the sales staff here is knowledgeable, and we do it right out in the parking lot. Come here, we're gonna make sure everything, if it doesn't drive right, first thing is it got loose parts.
Yeah.
You know, that's the quick, easy. Did it used to drive right?
Right.
No, it never drove right. Okay, well, it's probably a geometry issue or something like that. You know, it's not rocket science, but you know, if I'm gonna build a house, I'm probably not gonna frame it. I'm gonna pay the pros, right? So if you got an issue with your truck, swing by here. I'm not gonna charge you to tell you what's wrong. You can You can go fix it yourself. I don't care. I'd rather see your truck drive right.
Well, there's not a lot of shops that are like that left anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got Floral Parts, and you got great install, great product service, great prices, but not if I want to put a coil over in something. Not if I want to swap a motor in something. Not if I've got track bar issues.
Something weird.
I think your shop does pretty good, and your techs do pretty good at flushing out the stuff that others miss.
Well, and okay, so we put a new track bar in it, it's still death wobbles. Well, it's because the hole is oblong. Little stuff like that that gets missed really easy by somebody that hasn't been around it long enough. And so so when we cut out a washer on the CNC and weld a weld washer on it, fix the issue, or build a new bracket, or whatever it's going to take to fix the issue, and we can do that quick and efficiently. Which is nice. It doesn't have.
How long have you been doing this now?
So 10 and a half years, almost 11 now.
Yeah. Wow, so, that's experience.
Since I had a real job.
Well, and your real job, I remember you were telling me, like when you got started, you used to play at night. You play gigs in a band at night, doing drums, and then you take that money, save it, and then just even open your own shop.
Yep.
Right?
Oh yeah, I was playing music full time, and also had a full time job, and it was I was working hard and.
And he said there's big bucks in off-road.
Oh, that was good. I said.
Who lied to you? Who lied to you?
So what was 11 years ago?
KOH.
Oh yeah. It was getting big.
I said, that's what I want.
It reeled you in.
I'm going to race KOH. We did it. We went and raced. We had a great time. And
Remember that?
The only way to be a millionaire racing KOH is if you start
as a billionaire.
So, unfortunately, I wasn't a billionaire. I get to deal with all sorts of stuff. We all use our brains every day. It's not the same thing. It's you got a Ford today, you got a Toyota tomorrow, you got an old Ford the next day, and then
brand new
some crazy swapped JK with 150 wire nuts under the dash that you got to make run that you didn't do, nothing about. Like you got to use your brain, and that's fun.
Yeah, you guys are like the surgeons on Botched. Somebody comes in with a nose job that went completely wrong and they can't breathe anymore, and you got to go in there and find out what happened, and you make it look better and work better.
That is the
I saw a lot of really cool rigs out front when we were walking in, and I caught Chris out there. You want to take us through outside and check those out? Left and right I saw rigs. It's just here's another JK here, and this
is cool.
Old International Harvester.
Yep. So we're doing some brake stuff to this. It's got a big block in it and automatic. We didn't do that, but it's a super cool truck. You don't see a lot of these, and so we're gonna put some disc brakes on it and fix some issues.
That's clean, super clean.
Yeah, it's got a big bed on it.
Yeah, it actually goes like wider than the cab.
That's bigger than a new Super Duty bed. Isn't that what you were just saying?
Got a rock buggy over here, parked up on the rocks.
4500 KOH car we raced for a while.
Yeah.
Probably for sale shortly. That's actually Josh is our sales guy. Him and I raced it. We've had a ton of fun and a lot of good times in it.
Yeah, and, looks like it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's got a built 6-liter 4L80. 1-ton diffs, big shock package, fiberglass dash. It's all race wired and
sweet.
Yeah. The biggest cooler you can fit in it, so
yeah,
it's got a bunch of money in cooling and some horsepower, and it's a good time.
Is your nickname Sheepdog, or was it?
That was given to me by an industry friend, Colin at Max Tie Downs. He used to call me Sheepdog because I always had long hair. So when it came time to put the name on the car,
it kind of sticks. Yeah,
Luke. I got a little shorter in the front now, so.
You got the full party going on in the back now, and the business up front.
Music festival stuff. So I shaved the mullet, and then I had some people asking me to keep it for a while, and I guarantee I can keep it longer than they want it.
I see tons of articles being shared around now saying that the mullet's coming back. So you may be on the front.
It hurts, man.
It's making mullets great again.
I don't know, man.
It may be on the front leading edge of a trend that's emerging again.
We'll see.
We can only hope.
We can only hope.
So this guy I'm assuming it's a YJ.
It's a YJ with a CJ nose.
Yeah.
LS powered, AX15 231. Just 35 spline Dana 44s.
This is yours?
Linked in the front. Yep, this is mine. This is my travel rig. Driving to work every day with an LS power is a great time, but well, she's a little tweaked. I don't know. Good luck with that. But
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Nice.
LS powered, you know, everything super reliable. It's been LS for 4 years. It's got, the motor had 290,000 when I put it in there.
Really? Why'd you do that?
I feel like I lost a bet, but
Oh, jeez. Make sure you put those pins back, by the way.
Yeah,
I can see.
you don't want to end up
I can
like
see
me.
something happening here.
See what I mean? How to work out so well the first time.
I literally got the motor for $150, and I was like, I don't know, I'll use a part of it for something.
And you ended up throwing it in your Jeep.
And I'm like, well, I mean, why not, right? Let's see how long it goes. And that was 4 years ago. Anybody that's wheeled with me knows that I don't always make great choices, and
Yeah.
I've spent minutes on the rev limiter. It won't give up. I mean,
Did you even open it up or anything, or you just dropped it in?
no, it did nothing.
You just put it in the Jeep.
It was complete. It came out of a donor truck, and I said, why not?
You didn't check the rings.
Put
You
it
didn't
in.
check
No.
the
It's an
crankshaft.
LS, man. Come on, man. 4 years ago.
I'll take it from the master. That's pretty insane.
I will say, if you're decelerating down a hill in gear, holding the vehicle back, like coming down from my house, I have a long hill I go. When you get to the bottom and you give it a rev before you let the clutch out, you're not going to get eaten by a mosquito. It is a blue cloud. It's not a 1-ton Jeep rock crawler. I call it my dirt wheeler. We go travel around with your camping gear and go have fun.
Yeah.
You know, it will rock crawler. I mean, it's got 35 spine nitro chromollies in it and stuff, but
You'll be okay. Yeah.
yeah. You actually just dropped it off yesterday.
Looks like my grandpa's truck.
He told me, I don't know the guy very well, super nice guy. He told me that he put 300,000 miles on this. He bought it brand new.
Wow.
And now he wants to put another 300,000 on it. So he put a ZZ502 crate motor in it. It's got a turbo 400 205. We're going to put a 4080 in it, some ARBs, and re-gear it.
What in it?
502.
The ZZ502.
Yeah, pop that hood. There it goes. Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no joke. He doesn't trust his factory gauges, so he put that in.
Is it an oil pressure gauge?
On the inside of it. It's facing the wrong direction.
What? Hold on. I mean, I'm not knocking the guy, but that's
so paranoid
interesting,
for an odometer. I mean, I don't know. I'd put it on the inside, but
He said he didn't trust the gauges with this motor, so
it's got trust issues.
yeah. Don't we all?
I see a really beefy looking two-door over here.
This is a two-door JK, another great customer of ours. I've been working for him for a lot of years through multiple vehicles.
3.0 IBPs? Holy
yeah,
crap.
3-inch
cool.
internal bypass king coilovers, triangulated rear, move the fuel tank to the back.
Oh yeah, no joke.
Really helps the JK wiggle. That's what it's been called.
Pretty modest interior, just got a
Cage,
cage.
Atlas. This thing has 20,000 miles on it. I bet there's not 1,000 miles on pavement on this Jeep.
Oh, so it's a dedicated shoulder.
It drives great down the road, but he lives in Montana on dirt roads,
Yeah.
and so he drives in the dirt all the time.
Yeah, so it's never seen traffic and highway and stuff.
But this is shock hoops that we covered. We made some sheet metal covers, and that actually bolts. They're threaded,
To the top
so
of the
that
mount.
keep the dust out, keep all the dirt and grime out of it.
I thought they were
'cause you do have to
subwoofers
cut
for a
the
second.
top. Yep, that's that.
Yeah.
So, and you can see it's dusty and dirty in here. He used it. It's almost 21,000 miles. That's
cool.
We also did a 550 horse Bruiser LS conversion in this, and we did that.
Oh wow.
So I think he picked this up 2 months ago from that conversion, and he's already got like 5,000 miles on it since we did the conversion, and that's all off road. I don't know that I put 5,000 miles off road on a year, and I do a lot of off roading.
Yeah, this guy's dedicated for sure. Nice. The LS swap, triangulated 4-link rear, 40-inch trail grappler with ATX wheels.
We'll have to get a sound clip of this one. This one sounds really good.
Oh yeah, please, it'd be awesome. 3.0 IBP up front too. Man, these are massive shocks. Oh yeah, these are the Corvette LS3 valve cover.
So different from the last one. You see how clean and tidy it fits in there.
Yeah, it looks almost factory.
Yep, cruise AC, everything works right. Since he's had it, he got it. We brought it back. We underdrove the power steering pump just a little bit.
Give it a little more power. Yeah.
And he put a battery in it. Other than that, he's got a bunch of off-road miles on it with no issues.
Nice.
Synergy long arm on it that we kind of, you know, the front is basically a Synergy long arm with a 3-inch IVP on the Spicer Great 60s.
Yep.
Synergy steering, and rock sway bars. The rear, since it's triangulated, we had to build some of that. But it really, really drives nice. And this guy's big into razors, and he's got a big horsepower mud truck and, you know, a mega truck, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
And so for him to be spending as much time in this as he has, it really tells me something. I'm really happy to know that he's loving it, because he's got turbo razors, all the toys in the world, and he's been really enjoying this. So
sweet.
I always dig that. My favorite thing is when people are out using them.
Yeah,
Not
you know,
because they break them, just because it means that.
No, yeah, I get
like
where you're
what we
coming
did,
from. Yeah, that's really using them to their full potential. So.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Nice.
That'll wake your neighbors up.
Not your average CJ5.
No.
4-wheel drive too.
Yeah.
They just did 2-wheel drive, you know.
Got the B&M T-handle on there. This is period correct stuff right here.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
But this is, we've got a sand dune that's close over here, about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
On Moses Lake. Every year, all these guys get together and they go rip over there. And this is like that period correct.
This is what it is. Yeah, flames. You know, like that's.
When I was a kid in like the late 80s and early 90s, we'd go over there. You get about 7 or 8, 10 of these guys over there on a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Just ripping around, hauling ass.
Doing drag racing and stuff on the sand.
It's almost like just identical, right?
Yeah.
Old school boggers or old school Thornbirds or
Small
something.
tires, not a lot of suspension.
No suspension.
Yeah.
They're good fun.
This is like the weirdest vehicle you guys have here, but I gotta know what's up with this. It's Defender 110?
So yeah, this is imported from somewhere over the pond.
Yeah.
I didn't import it, so I can't tell you all the details. It was a Defender 110, factory right-hand drive, old school Buick V8, could barely move down the road.
Yep.
Customer wanted something he could drive, so we did a 6-liter 6L90 conversion. We also converted it from right-hand drive to left-hand drive.
Holy heck.
Which is a lot of challenges, and that gets done in these usually using factory parts, and the factory parts are pretty expensive and hard to get.
Yeah.
And so we did it as we would normally do our normal swaps with some later model parts and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really cool rig, and just kind of some of the things that this rig has that are cool. The third row seating, and they fold up and out of the way, or they fold down, and
so you can put stuff there.
They're kind of tiered, so even adults can sit in it. It's a really cool truck. I mean,
The driving position is very like upright
Yeah.
and kind of school bushes maybe a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like I've driven these in Australia before, but they're the newer, got the newer dash, but kind of the same. They're kind of funky, you know.
Yeah, they haven't changed a lot of this stuff. It's been the same since.
I always feel like you're like this is the same I felt in the other one I drove. That
You're gonna hit?
I'm short.
Yeah.
I'm a little guy, and I feel like these were designed for little guys. I don't even know how you'd fit in here.
I seem to fit fine in it. It's weird.
Really?
Oh, you were hitting the ceiling there.
You were really up there. Yeah, they're like a fold
They double fold.
out,
Yeah, that's badass.
and then they drop down. And those are pretty nice.
That's like almost better than the ones in the brand new ones.
Yeah,
Me.
yeah, that's pretty nice.
Land Rover.
Newer badging.
Yeah.
Yep. So on the right side there.
Woo, that's light.
That's fiberglass.
Oh, tons of room in the back over here.
Yep. So it does have an offset rear diff, so you're kind of stuck using the factory transfer case, right?
Yeah.
So we adapt that to a 6-speed Chevy automatic, but that also kind of depicts where we can put the motor. So the motor ends up, I mean, maybe it's 4 inches further forward than you would normally have. Still plenty of room for accessories and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and that makes it nice. We hit the ECM back there.
Tucked up against the
engine
firewall.
harness fuse box is back there.
Yep. Yeah, there it goes. Hey. That's cool.
Max air conditioning.
Yeah.
AC is on.
That's like the British equivalent of like the wing window in the US.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That works a lot better.
Probably. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I like that.
That sounded pretty cool. Definitely not your average JK. All right, guys. Well, I think we pretty much covered everything from A to Z.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff here.
Yeah. Luke, thank you so much, man, for having us come down and showing us all this cool stuff you got going on here. And where can our viewers find you?
Yeah, we have Instagram, Hazzard Fabworks. We have Facebook, sales at hazzardfabworks.com, www.hazzardfabworks.com. Google, there's a ton of stuff out there on Google to find us, videos and stuff. So,
and you can find them on the trails locally.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always out here and at a lot of the national events too. So come find us, say hi. We're happy to help with anything we can.
Sweet. Chris, good hanging out with you too as always.
Man,
Thanks, dude. Yeah, it was a good timing that you're here. So enjoy your 5-hour trip back with your new Jeep.
Fun.
Yeah. Well, cool guys. I'll catch you guys hopefully next time we're out wheeling together, or maybe you got to drag me back up here to do some wheeling with you guys.
Let's do it.
UTV wheeling.
Yeah.
You got to suck me into that world, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Catch you later. Yeah. Bye. All right. Well, that was an awesome day to spend here with Luke and Chris from Nitto. They got a legit operation going on here. I mean, you saw how many different kinds of vehicles were in here and what they were here for. Everything from just a routine checkup to a full build, and everything in between. And they do everything here in house. There's no subletting. You know who's working on your vehicle. You know who's doing what. And it's guys who definitely have a lot of experience in this industry and have been doing it for a long time. And they come together, and they have the right guy for the jobs. I look forward to wheeling with Luke here at EJS, possibly at King of the Hammers, some of the other national events that we all go to. Winding down the day here in Spokane, and gonna head back to the hotel, and we got another shop we're gonna visit tomorrow. We're gonna be doing a few more of these shop visits up here in the PNW area, so don't go anywhere. Subscribe to us. Make sure you guys are looking out for our newer videos that are coming out. I have another episode coming out next week up here in Spokane. I got another shop I'm gonna be visiting, so definitely want to subscribe to us and hit that bell icon, so that way you're the first to know when you have another video coming out. But until next time, guys, your truck editor at Driving Line, Matt McAdam, aka Desert Chief. I will see you on the next one.
So the JL Wrangler is a big splash in this giant Jeep world.
It's the most capable vehicle right out of the box. Made only better with a good set of tires.
It's the same Jeep that everybody wants, but it's fully updated and has all the creature comforts that your tow rig used to have.
It's interesting because it's conceptually the same as the old JK, but refined. Suspension is the same concept, but packaged so much better with so much more potential. Just put on some 37-inch ridge grapplers. None of that drivability went away.
So the steering felt a little flighty to me with stock tires. As soon as we put a 37 on it, it made the steering wheel, in my opinion, feel a lot better. I actually enjoy it better with the bigger tire on it, believe it or not.
And theoretically, it's a whole new vehicle. It's body, frame, suspension, everything. But major differences that the first person will notice is the interior is a huge upgrade.
But we tried it with 33s and 35s. There's a lot of improvements. So they raised roll centers, so it doesn't want to lift in the back like the old JK did. The 8-speed transmission has the first gear, it's almost 5 to 1. We've been running it with a 37-inch tire and 410 gears, and it still accelerates awesome, and it still can cruise the freeway and get about 14 miles a gallon.
For the JK, you notice the need for a re-gear almost immediately. With the JL having 8 gears, although we will re-gear it, it's not as necessary right off the bat. It can handle a bigger tire.
The axles are completely new and stronger. The suspension's more nimble and larger. You have The tie rod ends are the same size as a 4th gen 3/4 ton Dodge. They're not little half-ton truck parts. The lower control arm bolts are 16 millimeter instead of 12 millimeter or 14 millimeter. Everything is beefed up because people are using their Jeeps harder, and all that converts to us being able to build a very, very capable off-road vehicle that you can drive to California, wheel for a week, and drive it home. That's the whole plan with these things, and that's where the industry's going, and that's what the JL brings to the table.
You know you're spilling some fluid, right?
I mean, it's above the rear main, you said?
Easy, right? Oh, it wouldn't help us. It's a way up high.
Down the side over here.
Welcome to another episode of On the Trail. I'm Mike Sabunchi, and we are here in Washington State in the Fortune Creek area of the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. Why would we come to such a wonderful place? Well, because Seattle has about 3.5 million people inside it, and it can get really crowded. But if you just drive outside the city, you can find yourself in some amazing landscape like this behind me. We're in the Fortune Creek area of the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest, just a couple hours outside of Seattle. We're gonna take this trail up to one of the most picturesque lakes up here called Gallagher Head Lake. It's gonna be awesome. With me today, I got my longtime friend, almost 20 years, Kyle, Kyle Saito, and I got my new friend, Luke Schumann from Hazzard Fabworks. Kyle, what did you bring out today?
So I brought a 91 Nissan Patrol. I imported it from Australia. It's on 37-inch ridge grapplers. It has 4 inches of lift, front locker, skid plates, rock sliders, overlanding gear.
Nice. It looks pretty awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Luke, we saw Kyle's car. What the heck is that thing behind me?
That's a mullet of a Jeep, I've been calling it. It's a 91 Jeep Wrangler, tub and frame, a CJ nose. It's LS powered. It's got the Jeep manual transmission. It's got fabricated 10-inch housings. Of course, then I'm running the 40-inch Nitto trail grappler on a trail-ready forged beat log.
And I have the most mild vehicle. I got a 2009 GX470 on 35-inch Nitto tire Recon grapplers. Got a mild lift and some overland bits, and that's about it. We have a nice mix of vehicles for the trail today. 3 different Nitto tires, 3 different sizes, 3 different vehicles, all on the same trail. It should be a fun day. When you're wheeling anywhere, there's always a list of essentials that you need to bring. These are some core essentials: food, water, shelter, maybe some tire inflator or deflator kits. Those things are a must, but wherever you wheel, terrain is different. So Luke, what are some things that we need specifically for wheeling in this area?
I'd say specifically in the Northwest, I'm a big advocate for a chainsaw. Not only are you cutting a tree out of the trail, you might need to stay late and build a fire. I've also had to cut a tree down and skid Jeeps out with broken axles or broken knuckles all the way out of the trail, and you can't do that without a chainsaw.
Kyle, what else?
Well, Washington, of course, gets a lot of rain, so the trails get very slick, so it's good to have a locking device in your rig, or if you don't, a winch to winch from the trees, or recovery boards to get you up the trail.
Locking device, if you can get one, yeah. Recovery boards, winches, and some tools, some warm clothes, a chainsaw. Look at all these trees around us, and then obviously that core list. Wherever you're wheeling, you always want to be as safe as possible. Read the forums, ask a local, read the guides, read the guidebooks, be prepared. You can never be too prepared, and you can always be underprepared. So always be as safe as you can, and now that we're with the pros and we got the essentials locked down, we're gonna go hit the trail.
lowered the rig down around 19 PSI, and it's soaking up all these like just rocks and rough road. I mean, it's definitely different terrain than I'm used to in California. In California, it's a lot more dirt, whereas this is a lot more just exposed rock.
This is living for me. This is as good as it gets. I was just telling the other guys, nothing quite fires me up like being in the woods. The energy it gives me, and it's kind of a down low in your soul. Life is good. Where else would you rather be kind of energy? You put your Jeep together and you go take it out where no one else can go, or most people don't ever see. It's as good as it gets to me, man. This is why I do this stuff. I'm lucky enough to do it for a living. It's awesome.
How you doing? I heard you might need a jack.
Yeah,
yes.
We definitely could use a jack.
We got you.
Wow, this thing is not made for this. Like, let's turn around. And we're driving down, and all of a sudden you just hear like, poof. Oh, she's like, hey, we just got a flat tire. I'm like, no.
Well, we're heading up to Gallagher Head Lake, and we saw a van on the side of the road with a jack, with a flat, and we happen to have a bottle jack on board the Lexus. Whenever you come up to a location like this, you always got to make sure you have something to get yourself out, or radio, lifeline, something as simple as a bottle jack. And luckily we got one, so we can get them up and out. Whenever you're on the trail and you see somebody stranded, stop and help. It might happen to you one day. You might need help.
Like he said, we could be the only people he sees. I mean, they've been up here for 2 days, so you know, it's probably a blessing that we came by, and we'll hopefully be able to get him out of here.
I'll get in there.
I'll go until I get him.
Air compressor, patch kit.
We'll get him.
There you go.
Looks like a rock just poked in between the tread, which happens. You see these little bars down here? Sometimes those are wear bars, but if you look at a Nitto tire, a lot of times they have a step in the tread, and that's to kick rocks out so they don't do that. Little tire tech.
We're prepared for everything except for a jack. You know, like it's the one thing that we needed right now. We all have rods on it.
So I think you're good.
Thank you so much, guys. Like, you guys are heroes.
Yeah, Luke, you know you're spilling some fluid, right?
It's oil.
Oh, sh**.
Come down the side over here.
Oh, got it. When you moved up.
It's above the rear main, you said?
Oh, that wouldn't help us. It's a way up high. It's,
Okay. Well, just to see it. I mean, it's a lot. So, like, even if there's little tiny ones up here, that's nothing compared to what we're seeing.
It started smelling a little while ago.
I smelled it. I've been smelling it all day, but
Yeah.
I've never seen it leak. It looks Jeep sprung an oil leak. I don't know. We're trying to figure out where it's from and how much oil he even has in the engine right now.
Well, I'm sure it's got plenty in here. I just have a hard time telling what it could be from. I hope. Those things are like lava. Hot, dang hot. Oh yeah, the factory sensor that controls the oil pressure gauge in a truck, this 5.3 truck motor, somewhere along the way in my shenanigans, that sensor has failed, and now there's oil bubbling out the top of the sensor out where it's a 2-prong connector. I am going to put some of the JB Weld Quickset in that sensor. So this here is one of those things you always bring. They call it steel stick, but it sticks to everything. I fixed radiators with it. An oil leak in this case is exactly what this is going to be for. This is one of those kits you should always have in your glove box. We'll need it together. We'll put it in that sensor, we'll let it set up a little bit, and we should be good to go. Oh, there's a lot of oil in that sensor still. Got a little pinhole in it, but so far it's just a pinhole. It's not fixed, but it's better. It'll be fixed once we find a parts store. As long as it's not oil dripping fast and running out, we're okay. Just a little seep I can deal with. Well, see what happens. Play it by ear.
I guess, yeah, if I put this near the oil pan, I mean, it's gonna be tight.
Should be down there by you, so when he slides off the edge, it takes both of us.
I'm on the new Nitto tire, all-terrain tire, Recon Grappler. And I do have a 35 1250 fitment on my rig. And it is soaking everything up. And there hasn't been one wheel slip once. I'm in 4 low and I'm crawling up this hill. I'm not really punching it. I'm just going real nice and slow and nothing has slipped. This is fantastic.
A little bit. We got a little oil in there. Caca! So it's squirting out of, now it's got pressure, so it's squirting out of our fix. Well, it's got a little pressure, it's fine. It's not like we have anything hard to do from here. We're this close to the lake, so we might as well end up at the lake. And then when it comes time to turn around, I mean, it runs fine. It's doing everything it's supposed to. I may go in front if I can, so I can just kind of motor. That works. Yeah, let's go a little ways. I mean, it's leaking, but it's not like it's running out.
Off-roading and a big couch. It doesn't get easier. They definitely want you to earn this trail. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. What an amazing trail that was. Holy cow. Thank you guys for picking an amazing trail and joining me. That was quite the ride.
Yes, glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah, going back down is gonna be quite a treat. You know, the thing with that trail is as we got up higher and higher and higher, the trail got harder and harder and harder. The obstacles weren't necessarily King of the Hammers lines technical or the hardest thing you're ever going to do in your rig, but they require just that much more commitment. Not only are you further away from where you started, but you're going over things that are increasingly more difficult. So being prepared really plays a huge role. Luke, walk us through the day. That trail got harder and harder and harder, and
yeah, it was really cool. I think you know, a trail like that, you're getting into it, you're getting more committed. You know, we came across a guy that'd been there for 2 days on the side because he didn't have a jack. We helped him out, and right there I sprung a leak, and we had to work through some issues there. I was lucky enough to have some oil and feel comfortable going on and not have it to be too big of a problem. But you know, at the end of the day, we made it to the lake. It's beautiful, and I mean, look at this, it's incredible.
Walk us through some of, like, you know, how do you need to prepare yourself for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, in this case specifically, I had engine oil. I had a way to make a repair to slow down the leak. You know, that preparedness with whether it's a hose clamp or engine oil or your JB Weld putty or whatever it's gonna take, just having those little things in your toolkit or wherever it's gonna be to be able to make that decision whether I'm done, whether I'm towing out or I'm continuing on.
And being really prepared for anything that can happen. Another thing is, you know, time slips away from you.
Absolutely.
It took us all day to come up here.
Yeah.
It's only 6 miles.
Yeah, well, that little break, I mean, realistically, it took us 2 hours, you know, and you're letting things dry, and yeah, we call it lunch, but realistically, that was a 2-hour snafu,
right?
Because of a simple thing of a sensor cracked and made a leak.
Right.
So.
And with that said, 2 hours, right? You're up here, the day is going by, things can change, the trail can change. Kyle, you were just up here recently, and this trail was a completely different beast.
It was, yes. There was snow all the way on the south side,
yeah,
and it was running down the trail pretty much. So pretty much what you want to do is plan for 4 seasons. You don't know if you're going to get mud or or dry rocks when you come up here.
Right, and the bottom of the trails might be different than the top of the trail. So if you're gonna go and attempt something like this, make sure you prepare yourself, bring some buddies, have an escape plan it all the way through, read the guides, talk to some friends, prepare yourself, over-prepare yourself, have redundancies in place, and make smart decisions. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It was an amazing journey. Thank you so much to Nitto and Driving Line for getting us here. Special thank you for both of you guys for joining me.
Thanks a lot. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. You guys ready to jump in the lake?
I'm ready. I'm ready. It's getting smelly around here.
I'm ready to jump in the lake, head back down the trail. If you like this video, drop us a comment below, like, subscribe, let us know where you want us to go next, and we will see you on the trail.
What is up, YouTube? Matt McAdam here, your truck editor at Driving Line, with another episode of Chasing Dust today. I am here at home in my backyard here in Long Beach, California. With the way things are going right now, things are starting to open up a little bit, but we haven't been to any of the events yet. They haven't really quite opened up any of the off-road events or any of the races. So I'm still coming up with some content for you guys here at home. And one of the things I was doing was going through some of my old footage and some of the old episodes of Chasing Dust and finding some things that maybe I hadn't uploaded before, some never before seen footage. And something that I found, which is really cool, I'm going to share with you guys today, is a conversation that I had with Luke Schumann at Hazzard Fabworks about UTVs and UTV tires and everything about, you know, the actual vehicle itself and how it's really become a catalyst for so much change in the off-road industry. So without too much further ado, I'm going to jump back to last summer when I was in Spokane, Washington, talking with Luke and Chris Corbett from Nitto Tire, and we're going to just dive right into that conversation. So let's get going to it. All right, well, we just got here to Hazzard Fabworks. This is definitely the building here, a bunch of Jeeps and trucks in the parking lot. Let's go see what they got going on inside.
Why do you have a side-by-side?
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this thing because it is out of this world.
This is I mean, we all know the side-by-side market is huge. It's awesome. So, of course, we do everything side-by-side. You know, the industry is kind of funny in that most people go to the dealership. You buy a brand new side-by-side and you get your accessories at the dealership, which is kind of funny to me. You think you'd go to an off-road shop that has, you know, has knowledge about this stuff. So lately I've been keeping this in the showroom. We do swap out a lot of stuff in the showroom. We always got, you know, usually a new build we're doing, but lately the side-by-side market is huge and we're doing more and more of the stuff. You know, a lot of the same companies that build truck and Jeep parts build side-by-side parts. So we already have those relationships and the knowledge about their products and the relationships to get them at a good price. And so here we are. A lot of those products are shown on this, and you know, as well as the new Nitto side-by-side tire. That's a big splash.
Yeah, I noticed you had these on there. So we've talked about this tire a little bit recently because it's new to the market, but we got the man behind it all right here with us. So Chris, you want to talk a little bit about the tire and give us a little bit of a rundown on, you know, what makes it unique, what makes it the UTV tire, and then also how similar it is to the existing trail ground.
No, it's unique because we started from the ground up. So we didn't look. There's a lot of great tires in the market. We baselined that tire off our KOH experience more or less. So with KOH, it's a 40-inch tall tire. It's special compound, special construction. Those cars are 700 to 800 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and we do really well in that arena. We've won King of the Hammers, we've won nationals, we've won a lot of races in between. So when it came time to looking at a side-by-side tire, the thought process was, does it translate to a 220 horsepower turbo car, all-wheel drive, rock, sand, mud, snow, everything? Does it translate? So we did a couple years of testing and played with sidewall construction, top cap construction, and we settled on this.
And it wasn't just like you guys going out there with your engineers, but I went to one of your testing days early on. This is like 2 years ago.
Yep.
And you guys had Shannon Campbell, Lauren Healy, Eric Miller.
Bring all the guys that can break it. Right?
Yeah, you had all the past kings of KOH in brand new cars that were mostly stock, right? And all you had done was change the tires on them.
So we did all of our, for the most part, all of our testing at that time was on turbo razors, and then we had some
Maverick.
Maverick RSs. So a couple of them are tuned. Shannon Campbell had his full race KOH razor. We had a couple of the X3s that were tuned to 210, 220 horsepower. And part of that was turning those guys the keys for a couple of days and see if it works.
Right.
And with that, all those guys concerned, including ours and mine, is sidewall, right? You just don't want to have sidewall issues. You don't want to be out railing in the desert, hauling ass, and slide into a berm and catch a stick or something dumb. It's going to happen, but I think with ours being the unique construction, I think you got a much better chance of coming out the other side.
Yeah.
So anything can happen. I'm not going to say it's it can't happen.
Yeah.
But as far as what it is, really is a mini-me of our race tire. It really is a smaller version of our K-spec, what we call our K-spec or KOH spec race tire. Similar compounds, similar construction, similar, all the internal stuff. And part of that, the testing and development was, hey, go put 150, 200, I think Eric Miller, his total count, we did like a 3-day thing. I think he was like 300 miles or something.
And that was in Johnson Valley.
I was in Johnson Valley.
Yeah.
So sharp rocks, scale, like everything. So
we're not talking about sand dunes here. It's
no. I mean, it was really just trying to, and it does work in sand. I mean, Shannon Campbell's big complaint in the sand is that it's got too much bite. And it actually, and which I kind of find funny, but he was like, he's like, it bites and then it drags down the belt a little bit. But his co-driver's like, don't listen to Shannon. It pulls through sand. So it's been really good so far. I mean, we have them in 32s, we have them in 30s. The 30-inch weighs right in at 39 pounds, and the 32 is at like 40. I want to say it's 43 or 42.5 or something like that.
So what you gain in structural integrity, you lose a little bit in the weight category.
You do lose
but
weight. Yeah,
you got to really think about what's most important. There's a trade-off. So
I mean, the prior market has always looked at the tire as a consumable, right?
Yeah.
It's a consumable that may or may not last the length of a belt, right?
Sure.
We looked at it as like we're looking for the long-term belt. We would rather you get more miles out of it, have more fun out of it. And a lot of guys don't run spares either, right? So it's nothing like getting a full sidewall tear in the middle of Johnson Valley or the middle of the Michigan dunes or
Baja or whatever,
or Moses Lake or anywhere else, and then you're like, oh man, now I've got a long walk ahead.
Well, right. Another thing that I kind of like, that tire there has at least 200 miles on it.
Let's take a
look
look
at the rear tire and that's short of, this isn't Johnson Valley rock crawling. This is running dirt roads with my buddies side by side at 60 to 80 miles an hour, sliding corners in 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what I love to do up here. It's just fun, good driving experience. Fronts look brand new. The rears, of course, are spinning the whole time.
Yeah.
They still have a great tread on them, and any of your other 4-wheeler style balloon construction tires, they're not predictable going in and out of the corner. The tire rolls over, and they don't last.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this tire, it's not really much more money, or if any more money than the next best tire of your choice, but you're only gonna have to buy them half as much.
That for me is the best part of putting this tire on, say, a Razor, is it makes it feel like a go-kart. It makes it feel like a rally car. Like when you pitch into
on rails,
you pitch into a corner and it doesn't want to roll over. It just it basically feels more car-like, I think, than it does. Which for some people, again, it's not for everybody. Some people are really entrained to that rounded carcass and that just
body roll kind of feel.
Just kind of walking. Because when you're in a long wash and you're standing on it with a round carcass, you're always kind of just doing this. You're always kind of swapping right, swapping left.
Yeah.
But I find with this tire that it bites really good, and you're more just lateral straight. You're more steering input. I think your steering input's better. Everything I feel is a little bit better.
And I feel, especially in 4-wheel drive, when I drive this car in 4-wheel drive, I get bored. Like if I'm running those same roads in 4-wheel drive, it's absolutely faster, but I want to slide into it sideways.
Get sketchy with it.
Get sketchy with my buddy, side by side, looking at each other in the eyes. And in 4-wheel drive, the thing pulls super even and square. And yes, it's faster. Yes, I can pull in front of my buddy because I'm in 4-wheel drive. But it's about having fun. So it's almost like two-planet in 4-wheel drive. The thing goes right where you put it. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's precision. Yeah. And the tire wear is good. I mean, considering what you say you have. So our KOH tires do the exact same thing. These leading edges, they tend to want to wear down, and they feather, right? So it's basically called a feathering, where it starts to feather on the leading edge, and that's exactly what our race tires do. Our race tires actually do this exact same thing after a KOH race or nationals or a couple of races, like
Baja 1000.
Baja 1000.
Casey Curry with those last year.
Baja 1000. I mean, the same feathering, the same look. I mean, even Derek West, 2 years ago, he ran all Ultra 4 nationals and KOH on the same tires. Yeah. Because he likes that rounded, feathered, not quite as grippy, but still, still good. And the compound, it is a softer compound. It is unlike most of the others. Yeah. It's also radial construction. So there's a lot of bias tires in the market, very few radial construction, and even fewer spiral wound construction, which is what we're known for in the industry as a proprietary way of manufacturing. So sidewall treatment is very similar to our
40-inch 17.
Yeah, 40-inch K-spec and our DOT version tire there. So very similar treatment to it. 9.5 inches wide, true 32.
15-inch wheel.
Yeah,
15-inch wheel, which is, I think, good. Whenever we're selling this tire to people, which another thing I like to say is it's available. It's not that this tire is a dream anymore. It's available. Right. It's in distribution. They're in stock. You want them, I'll have them to you today. Yeah. Which is a great thing. But a 15-inch wheel, which it steps up to your ability to put a better tire on it. I think a standard 1000s come with 14s, and
there's a reason why the new Turbo S has a 15-inch.
Exactly.
Because they figured it out.
Yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason. So, I mean, it just, you get a better ratio between 32 and 15. You get less sidewall deflection. You get everything that's a little better. We tested some 14-inch and we will have some 14s coming down the turnpike, but 15 is kind of, we like to win. We like to win races, and so that's just the right one to have. And there are some larger sizes coming down the turnpike too.
And so obviously this thing is much more built than just a wrap and some tires and wheels. You have a lot of suspension work.
Yeah, there's a lot of RT Pro long travel stuff on it. Big race king shocks. Some performance mods to the motor, skid plates, cage, doors. All the safety stuff. I'm big on safety.
Harnesses, seats, you got all the.
Who's going to sign all these guys' paychecks if I die? I mean, come on, we got to be safe, right?
He's got a point. The man has a point.
So yeah, big on safety. PRP seats, harnesses, CageWorks cage, bumpers, spare tire. All this stuff works really nice, and it makes for a fun machine. It's KOH tagged. It's race KOH. You can go race it tomorrow, or you can lift up your spare tire to your.
Put an ice chest back here.
Your Yeti roadie fits right there, and you can
go out to the lake.
Yeah, go out and have a good time, run roads with your buddies, and have a good time. So,
that's kind of the beauty of this. And admittedly, I am probably the last of the cronies when it comes to get these golf carts off my trails. I'm totally that guy, but I'm coming around, and it's because the people who I thought were also like that are totally loving these things. Chris is a good example.
I'm the same way. I was the same way. I for years was like, I don't get it. 23 grand, 26 grand, I'll go buy a JK for that and go play with it. Yeah. I will say, having just run the Rubicon with a group of about 12 or 15 of these.
Jeepers Jamboree, that's right.
Yeah, Jeepers Jamboree. Having run the Rubicon on a 32-inch tall tire, maybe it brought me back to having a lot of fun and doing something different. Yeah. It was a very unique opportunity to run the Rubicon with other racers on a 30 and 32 inch tall tire and have fun outdoor in the elements and have the challenge of strapping all your gear in there, your camping gear and all your other stuff. It was a lot of fun. And I think maybe that changed for me, the tune a little bit. Plus, there's not much else that you can go for the money, wide open as fast as you can go, jamming through everything, rocks, sand, you name it, and put it back in the trailer and dig it back out the following weekend. Like they take a pretty good beating.
Yeah,
they take a beating.
I think, go ahead.
And I have everything. I have Jeeps and I have Razor and I have all sorts of stupid off-road stuff. That's my life. But I have a lot of fun in this thing, and they're so forgiving, and you know, I mean, you can really screw up a corner where you'd be on your lid in your race car, and this thing doesn't care. It drives right through it, and you look like a rock star. You know.
Yeah.
So they're fun. They're forgiving. They don't take a ton of maintenance. I think they need, you know, out of a stock machine, you need to add safety.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people getting hurt in these things, and it's always because they didn't have the right safety stuff or weren't wearing it.
Or they're not
properly.
using it. Like
Right,
recently, there's been some stuff in the news where the driver wasn't wearing, just over here in Idaho, right?
Last week, driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt or a helmet.
Oh man.
Passed away. Passenger was wearing a seatbelt and he walked away. I wear your safety equipment and go fast and have fun. I mean, that's.
You know, I think the last gripe that I have, I get all the performance aspects of this thing, you know, how they are, how easy they are, you know, just to load up and go have fun, and they come with everything you'd need for an off-road adventure. I think the last thing that I just wish that they could take care of somehow, which they probably can't, it's going to come with time, is educating the customers who are buying these on proper off-road etiquette. That's probably the only thing only gripe that I have.
It exists in the Jeep world.
It does, but on a much smaller scale. If you ever go to Glamis on a big weekend or something,
but that tells you that the market is there and the market's growing.
It's going that way. Like I said, it's going that way.
I agree with you 100% on trail etiquette. Sometimes is not it's not as stellar as it should be.
Yeah.
There are some guys but
because when they're financing anybody with like a Pulse, you know, it's hard sometimes to get the kind of customer who's gonna, you know, do the right thing when you come across them on the trail.
But I think a lot of that is they don't know. And so herein lies the education process. The Jeep community has had Jeep guys educating themselves for 40 years, 50 years, right?
It's brand new.
We self-police, right? We're like,
hey. An old guy that you wheel with that says, hey, don't do that, stay back.
Yeah, right.
You learn from your peers, right?
That's why I went
with my dad. Yeah. My dad, you know, hey, don't be a jackass. Like, you know, wait your
There's
turn to go
stop
up that.
And wait for the guy behind you.
Behind you, exactly. Yeah, that sort of thing.
I think with the Razor guys, it's not, and I call them Razor guys, and it's not a designation, but I think with side-by-sides, I think that there's not a lot of that etiquette within its own peer group. Sometimes you get only 2 or 3 guys and you go railing around the dunes, and that you're just you're 2 or 3 guys, and common sense goes out the window. And I do think that is just a product of maybe a new market.
It's an inevitability.
5 years ago, they weren't here.
I think what's going to help this is, like, a lot of these guys who are putting on these Razor runs, who are, you know, knowledgeable individuals who know what they're doing, who built these vehicles, and they are going to be the ones to kind of usher in this new era of, like, you know, understanding what the etiquette is and how to actually conduct yourself when you're off-road and you're with a bunch of other people. I think that those, you know, experts in the field who are going out and they're giving people these experiences are going to be the ones to kind of help push that narrative more and more.
I mean, I think as the market matures and as we all tend to get a little bit older, I think, you know, I get a little more grumpy and a little more short with people on the trail. I'm like, hey, wait your turn.
Yeah.
You know, we're all here for the same reason.
Right.
You know, to put on a smile and have fun and have a good time. I think part of that is just people being, you know, in this day and age, nobody wants to offend, right? Nobody wants to say,
you don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you got to speak up and say, hey, not good.
Yeah.
You know, not good.
Yeah.
So, I hear
common sense, it goes a long, long way whenever you're driving anything off-road. So, but I do think I'm coming around to these.
Well, would it make it any better if it was $10,000?
Probably.
$5,000?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the price point is the kicker for a lot of people. I think the price point of entry is the.
I will say, as I see it, I have a lot of friends that, you know, people that come in here that 2 years ago, I'm like, man, did you get a Razor yet? And they're like, oh, I can't afford that. It's $18,000. Well, now that same $18,000 Razor is like $10,000. They're like, hey, I got a Razor, I got a 1000.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
like,
the used market's
sweet.
come
Yeah,
around.
used
Yeah.
market's awesome. And
Yeah, the used market.
a lot
And
of
the
people-
innovation that they've all come out,
Yeah,
with
it's
the new
pretty
Turbo
cool to
S and the
see.
new XP Pro,
Yeah.
and the, all of those.
Well, this is a 1-year-old car.
Yeah, suddenly
and it's
this
old
is
now.
old.
Yeah, it's a 1-year-old car.
It's already obsolete.
Full build, and it's old. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna cut it. You got the shots.
That's just it. It's created a secondary tier market.
Yeah.
For guys that are buying them, much like a Jeep. A Jeep never goes away. It just reinvents itself.
Absolutely.
It shows up here and gets wheels and tires and shocks, and Razors will be,
Same
they'll be the
exact
same
way.
way.
Yeah.
They'll just reinvent themselves and
And I
keep
think
on
it's
going.
big. I always, the Razor thing is funny to me. Like I kind of started with is, everybody goes to the dealership to buy their accessories, and it's crazy to me that you don't go to the people that actually understand the car and what it needs.
Not just the
go to an
salesman.
off-road shop to get your Razor accessories.
Yeah.
I mean,
Come see Luke.
yeah, it's just crazy to me. So
He's got this thing in his shop and he built it here and he uses it, so you can tell, like places like this is where you want to be at to get all
the
your
brands
advice.
that are, you're right though, the brands that are big in the Jeep arena, which is traditionally bolt-on accessory type stuff, are big in the Razor.
and there are some new
Side by
brands,
side.
and that's been great. But you can buy those too, and we can get a great price. And
King shocks, on your Jeep, PRPC.
Fancy wheels, yeah.
rugged radios, KC lights.
Fancy lights. I mean,
It's basically a Jeep.
Yeah. A lot of the same stuff.
Yeah. So you can't really go wrong by talking to somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to Jeeps and off-road vehicles in general, because they make all the same parts of these things.
Yep.
And I will admit that this is exactly what the off-road industry needed to pick itself back up.
Yep. I think the
It came at a good
JK
time.
did a big job. Yeah,
For sure.
A really good job of getting families back in the woods. I always say
Yeah.
I love a JK because it got families back in the woods.
Yeah.
The JL's another step up from that. And I think side by sides are doing the same thing. 2-door and 4-door Razors get families in the woods.
Yep.
So, and that's what it's about. Why we still can, because idiots are going to screw it up for us, and someday there'll be no woods left. So
That's right. You know what? I still haven't gone for a ride in one of these yet.
really,
I've been in the one that you and I did in Moab and stuff, but in a fully built Razor, but in a full-blown built Razor Can-Am, I haven't been in one, and I think that I'm doing it to myself so that I don't get bit by the bug. So,
move to the RV park. They're thinking. Let's go for a ride.
I didn't realize you hadn't been in one.
How's it going out there, Michael?
I'm just
Yeah, I didn't realize you hadn't been in one.
I'm just terrified that I'm gonna get bit by the bug, and then abandon my Toyota build.
I can understand.
That's
what you put in. I mean, the problem is you start with a $23,000 Razor, $26,000. I think the new Turbo S 4 seats $30, $31. So you get it on a deal at $26. You're still going to be $10,000 into it by the time you do cage, which is going to be $1,500 to $2,100. You're going to do seats,
Wheels, tires.
you can cheap out. You can do the cutouts on the stock seats, and
Yeah.
and the new XP4 seats are actually really good. But
Yeah.
right now, the Turbo S is everywhere, and the Can-Am.
Yeah.
So, but you're gonna do wheels and tires. You want to do an intercom system, and if you got a 4-seat, that's $2,100, $1,600 to $2,100, depending on if you're going full crazy stereo.
Yeah.
Then of course you've got all the ride command stuff and the newer ones, and I mean, you can get shifters, and then it starts to get like a Harley. You start like
Every
hey, I want a
accessory.
chrome S&S air cleaner.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
suddenly you
Billet
start.
shift knobs
Yeah,
and-
I want a fancy mirror, and
Yeah.
you start looking at stuff.
Billet hangers.
Yeah,
and
billet
harnesses
hangers.
And, But that's the fun part too. Is even I got the bug. Is I see a new billet part and I'm like, ooh, I gotta have that shifter.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Z Brothers shifter. I love it. It feels good in your hand, and every
Yeah,
time I
same.
shift it, I smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Money
saying.
well spent. So
Luke, do you get a lot of customers in here bringing you Razors to get worked on, or is that you do?
a lot. Yeah. I mean, of course we do more trucks than Jeeps.
Yeah.
Probably 35 to 1.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot.
But
yeah.
we probably work on 10 Jeeps a day. So
Yeah.
if I work on 2 Razors a week, and I mean,
That's a lot still.
That's
It's
a lot.
ton, yeah.
so
For off-road shop up here. What would you say is like the entry level? I just bought my UTV and I want to you know, just do a couple upgrades to it and go out and have fun with it. But I don't want to break the bank, so
I
it will
always tell people, please put harnesses in it. It's got a shoulder harness, and it's just going to twist you up when you crash it, right? Not if, but when you crash it. So first thing, harnesses. The factory makes some nice retractable ones at a minimum, or some solid like a PRP.
Yeah.
If you do harnesses and an aftermarket cage, I'd love to go riding with you.
Yeah.
If you have a stock cage, I don't want you to unload it off the trailer. I really don't. Stock cage.
Because that's a roof support, more or less.
Yeah, it really is. It's a roof support, a plastic roof support.
Make sure you're set up right. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I see people do belts. And, you know, a rule of thumb is traditionally the plane should come straight across. And I see stuff that's like this,
way up,
or like this,
right,
coming behind the seat here, and it makes my back cringe. I mean, because that's literally how you're
wanting to compress you.
Yeah, you're wanting to compress or
pull you down.
Or if you're like this, what's going to happen? You're forcing the seat
to rip.
To rip or to tear, to pull up from the mount, which I've seen in crashes before. Like just getting it hunkered down and keeping your lap belt tight is key. But
and it's more than just buying the parts and putting them in. You got to know what you're doing.
And we're happy to tell you. If you bought them off, I don't care. Swing by. Let me show you how to put them on.
Yeah.
Make sure, right? I want you to be around. I like people. But I always say the first thing are harnesses in a cage. Please put harnesses in a cage in it.
Yep.
And there's a million things after that, but that's
the performance stuff goes on from there. Yeah, for sure.
And the cage doesn't have to be some super crazy Razoo cage. There's a lot of cost-effective ways to do that.
Yeah.
So
cool. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think we pretty much covered everything from A to Z.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff here.
Yeah. Luke, thank you so much, man, for having us come down and showing us all this cool stuff you got going on here. And where can our viewers find you?
Yeah, we have Instagram, Hazzard Fabworks. We have Facebook, sales at hazzardfabworks.com, www.hazzardfabworks.com, Google. There's a ton of stuff out there on Google to find us, and videos and stuff. So,
and you can find them on the trails locally.
Yep, absolutely. We're always out here and at a lot of the national events too. So, come find us, say hi. We're happy to help with anything we can.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Chris, good hanging out with you too as always. Thanks, dude. Yeah, it was a good timing that you were here. So enjoy your 5-hour trip back with your new Jeep.
Fun.
Yeah. Well, cool guys. I'll catch you guys hopefully next time we're out wheeling together, or maybe you got to drag me back up here to do some wheeling with you guys.
Let's do it.
UTV wheeling.
Yeah.
You got to suck me into that world, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Catch you later. Yeah. Bye. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps up our day here. It was a lot of fun hanging out with Luke Schumann and Chris Corbett from Nitto today. Really, really impressive what they do here at the shop. And, there's a lot more going on here than I thought there'd be. They have tons of different vehicles. You guys saw everything we were talking about today. Hopefully I get to go wheeling with Luke sometime soon. Maybe out at King of the Hammers or EJS in Moab this year. But that'd be really cool. So that's it for us today. I appreciate you guys watching. It's your truck editor at Driving Line, Matt McAdam, aka Desert Chief. I will see you guys on the next one. Adios.
Welcome to another episode of On the Trail. I'm your host, Mike Sabunchi, and we are in a place that's very special today. We are just east of Mount Rainier in the Natchez Trail System. Since I'm new to the state of Washington, I brought two friends along that know a whole lot more about this area than I do. I got Chris Corbett from Nitto Tire and Luke Schumann from Hazzard Fabworks. Luke, you know this trail a lot better than I do. You've been coming up here for a while. What are we in store for today?
Today's gonna be a fun day. We got everything from really tight dirt trails made years and years ago that are so tight we'll be backing up around the corners, tight deep woods, to some really aggressive rock crawl stuff that not all of us are gonna do, and lots of ridges and beautiful views, and the scenery is incredible and the trails are just as great.
Chris, this place holds a special place in your heart.
This is kind of where I started back in '98, came up here for a P&W four-wheel Jamboree and a Cherokee, and kind of set the stage for many years after that. Always a great reflection to come out, spend a little time out here in the dirt. It's a great area, you're in for a treat.
We brought 3 different types of vehicles with us today, 2 different flavors of a Jeep and 1 Lexus. Chris, what do we got behind us?
I brought the wife's Jeep Wrangler, 2019 Jeep Wrangler. It's got Ultimate 60s, ARBs, 538s, Synergy suspension. Very simple, easy build. She drives it every day. She's small, so she got to get in and out of it. But super effective build and fun Jeep.
What tires you running?
40-inch Nitto Trail Grapplers on KMC beadlock.
Nice, nice. Luke, motley crew of a Jeep. It looks different, rides different. What is it?
That's the mullet, man. It's a 91 YJ, CJ nose, LS powered, still a manual transmission. Fabricated 10-inch housings, crazy suspension, 4-linked and stuff like that. It's on a trail-ready 20-inch beadlock and the 40, 15, 50, 20 Nitto Trail Grappler.
Nice. And I got a 2009 GX470 on the all-new Nitto Tire Recon Grappler AT. It's in the 35-inch size. Looks small in comparison to the 40s next to me, but that's going to get me wherever I need to go today, and I'm excited to hit the trail. You guys ready?
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, let's go do it.
Cool. What got me into wheeling was I truly had a buddy, a guy that I looked up to, and I was into cars at the time, just kind of getting into the automotive world, and he would tell me these stories about when he was in high school and college, and he'd take his CJ7 out in the woods, and I just thought, man, that was cool, I got to get into that. And so I bought a 91 Jeep Cherokee XJ and built that up over the years, and I would spend literally 5 days a week in the woods doing something. I'd get off work and that's what I did, is I would get a buddy or two and we'd go up in the woods. It's just the unknown that I really love, and it started off with a mentor of mine telling me stories, and it just sparked this interest, and now it's really what I live for.
I grew up in Seattle, Washington, north of Seattle, Washington. I got into off-roading in 1998. I've always been a little bit of an automotive gearhead, and I bought a Jeep Cherokee, which was kind of the odd duck of the Jeep family. Nobody wheeled it, nobody took it on trails, any of that. Spent a number of years building that and playing with it. And this is where I got my start on these trails here in the Natchez. It's a great place to come and learn because there's all different levels here, from buggy to everything in between. And so to come back here, after having traveled, I've been very lucky to travel the country, and I've been on almost every trail system in the country and driven it. To come back here is always pretty humbling for me. It just reminds me of, how fun it is just to come back to where you spent your youth in something. I was a lot younger back then, but something that's a lot more built and more capable, even more capable or more built. I'm having just as much fun now than I did back then. It's just different levels. You just grow and you mature, and I've kept with it, and I enjoy it.
what we got here is all these different lines where you can see the black tire marks and everything. The one on the far right, there you see that step where there's a little liquid on the rocks, it looks like. That's not, there's one to the right of that that's actually fairly easy that I think your car will make it up just fine.
Wow! Yeah, I'll come down there and look at it, see if I could stop shaking in my boots. From here it looks impossible.
So I'll drive up the right line and then turn around and come back down.
Drive one of these lines. Mike, you want to get in with me?
Hell yeah, I want to do that.
I think we'll get Mike up the far right line, which is the easy line when you come here to Funny Rocks. You know, the beautiful thing about Funny Rocks is you've got a lot of different obstacles and terrain. So you come here on a 3-day weekend, you'll see buggies, stock Cherokees, Toyotas, everything out here playing. And that's what's great about it. There's a little bit of something for everybody here, and you know, that's, I think, why we all keep coming back. So for Mike, we'll get him up the easy right line. Everybody knows this line. It looks harder than it is, but he'll walk right up it. No problems. And then we'll see.
I think the key on this one to me is to get around this and then square up to it. Even if you got to pull in and back up and square up, and then you can drive right up the center.
Simple rule of thumb, tire on rock, right? Yeah. Keep the tire on rock and an edge of it and stay out of the crack.
Without a locker, right? You're not going to climb this without a locker.
Trust in your spotter if you trust the guy, right?
I do. 100%.
Trust the guy.
100%.
But always trust your own driving ability. So you're going to see this line right here, this crack, and you're like, I don't know. Do I want to go right or left to that? I'm not a huge spotter guy, so I
two of you up here.
And again, your rig is fully capable. You got the right ground clearance. You got the right tires.
Nervous? Extremely. I mean, when you're up there, it's not so bad. It's just there's like I guess you could like a climbing a crux or the bump. And the bump, I'm worried about clearance and settling the GX, but we'll see. Okay, here we go.
I'll give you, this just is forward.
Yeah.
I'll just give it the point a little bit with something or stop.
Copy that.
Super simple.
All right.
Just roll through it a little bit, little momentum. And then hard right. Hard right. And stay hard right all the way up.
Wow. Yeah, that's barely skid. Yeah, good spotting. Thank you. You're like, yeah, that's as easy as it gets. Come on up.
Good job. That was always easy. Yeah.
Oh, we are going down it.
Yeah.
There is no off from here.
Not for you. Not today, my friend.
Okay.
How much time you spent on rocks type thing? Not very much.
No time on rocks. Only
so he's pretty intimidated about coming up in the rocks and like, no, let's get in. That's a pretty, I'm not going to say it's an easy line. It's just a technical line. Yeah. The far right on Funny Rocks is something that, you know, any capable vehicle can make it up with a little common sense. And yeah, Mike, you know, got him pointed, lined up, walked right up it, tire on rock. Yeah, did amazing.
I don't know about that guy. He's got shorts and boots on.
Grow his mullet, which he had for a long time. He looked just like him.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hey, brother. They could be twins.
Hey, brother. Put him in my Jeep and he can go wheeling and I'll go drag racing. Start here. We kind of come down to this hole.
Yeah.
You take a left or a right. We're going to go on this right line.
Okay.
Which gets you into some junk. We got to start positioning ourselves to drop off the ledge on the right.
A lot of people scrape their dips on this rock. Wow.
Yeah. Big one. Coming into here, you're kind of square up. And you're 100% feeling the car because you can't see it all. You're feeling your tires. You're feeling where you're slipping, where you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
And then immediately you're setting up for this big banked cage crusher corner on the way out.
Wow.
I'm turning left to give myself clearance because we got to go up and around. And then as soon as it starts to climb, I'm full lock right, the cage into the rock, or we're door into the rock.
I'm excited to see what that feels like. Just trust what the Jeep's doing, feel the tires biting. Let's do it.
You can't come here and not do this line to me. I just love this shit. He's gonna have some fun. He's gonna like it. And he's gonna hear some smashing and banging and crashing and clinking and all those noises no one likes, but that's part of it. It's kind of cool. I bet I've done it more in the dark. I've cleaned it more times in the dark than in the daylight. I've never winched out of it or backed out of it. Now that I say that, I'll probably break something. Crawl into it, then I gotta turn left.
Cool.
And then it's gonna fall onto that side, so just stay in.
You got it.
Tough line through there. You're pretty much guaranteed you're gonna take out something, scratch a cage, a corner panel, whatever it is. That's a tough line. You did good. I got lots of painted hardtop. My line will be much easier and much more doable for Jeeps.
God, this is amazing.
When you're here, it's this giant thing. On TV, it's little bitty.
Wow, 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 what a wonderful day. We found ourselves right in front of this amazing hunting cabin behind us. It's in front of this meadow. It's a great place to call it a day, give us some time to get on out of here and head back home. And that's a really good pro tip for y'all who are thinking about coming out here. If you're gonna come out here, give yourself an escape plan. Plan accordingly. Time can slip away from you. If you wanna find a good place to turn around, this might be it. Might be even earlier on the trail, but make sure you're planning accordingly. Watch the time. I would hit up your local four-wheel drive club, join them, maybe get some learnings from them, hit up some members, do some research online. They can really help you. I think one of the big ones up here is the
Pacific Northwest Four-Wheel Drive Association is the big one up here regionally, and they do a great job. They have an annual jamboree here. Amazing organization to take part in and volunteer some effort and do some good for the environment and Jeep while you're at it.
It's clubs like that that really keep these trails open and do the maintenance. They get too run down, and they're the guys that are gonna divert you around a problematic area. So it's really important that, you know, those clubs are more than a way to get here, they're a way to keep it open.
They're active with our legislative body up here, keeping things open.
Also, if you're worried about what vehicle you have, some of these trails, I'd say my GX is the lowest trim level. These Jeeps can handle just about anything, but the lines that we took, I think that was about the max for the GX. There are some other trails up here that you could take a Subaru on, that you could take a stock Tacoma on. You gotta do your research. You can't just bomb any trail. You can't just go down any line. You're gonna get yourself in a lot of trouble. There are signs, there's people like club members that can help you. Make sure you do some research. Luke, I know you've come up here before. You've been up here just 3 weeks ago in the snow. Can you give us some other advice?
Be prepared for whatever's gonna take. 3 weeks ago, this was a muddy, snotty mess. We were winching and throttling over stuff that we literally coasted through today. So just be prepared and know the conditions can change. And just because it's 100 degrees down in town, it could be a messy, snotty mess up here.
Thanks for joining us in this episode where we off-road all through the Natchez region. If you liked what you saw today, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know where you want us to go. Thank you so much to Nitto Tire. Thank you so much to the fans, and thank you Driving Line for making this possible. We will see you guys on the trail.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you.
build all these fancy trucks and then we go break them so we can work on them some more, I guess. I'm gonna call this the thicket. I think we can go around here, and this is gonna loop us back around. Welcome to another episode of On the Trail. I'm your host, Luke Schumann. We are currently in North Idaho, right outside of Kellogg, Idaho, and what's referred to as the Silver Valley. Today we are outside of my hometown of Spokane, Washington, just in the North Idaho Panhandle, outside of Cataldo. We're gonna do a trail called Latour Peak. It has a lot to offer as far as showing what North Idaho has. It's very scenic. Man, we're gonna see some cool stuff today. Today we're lucky enough to be with three of my best friends in the world. Rob Peterson in his Mercedes, Dave Krieger in his Porsche Cayenne, and Chris Corbett in a Bronco Sport. We'll talk more about the vehicles here shortly. Let's get up this trail and see what it has to offer. Yeah, so these vehicles are a little different. I've brought up a 2008 Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Today we're running a 33-inch Nitto Ridge Grappler. Off-road, it does have a lot of what we call nannies in it, but they are very fun. They're super fun to drive around town. For most people, getting in the woods is maybe a little intimidating. Around here, especially the North Idaho, Eastern Washington area, there's thousands of miles of more or less gravel roads. Some get harder, some get washed out. A vehicle like this, it still has bumpers and skid plates and a winch and stuff like that. So if 90% of the stuff around, you're gonna be just fine in something like this with some off-road capability, and you're gonna get where you need to go.
We had a lot of fun this morning. We left Kellogg, Idaho, and I'm driving the 2022 Bronco Sport. We joke a little bit about calling it the My Little Pony, but it's got our new Nomad grappler on it, and it's been pretty impressive to come up to these trails. And it is a trail that requires with all the shale and everything else that's going on, it requires a really good tire, I think, and Nomad's performed quite well.
Trail up here, it starts out with mostly logging road. Currently where we're at right now, we're about halfway through the trail. There's hasn't been anything too crazy other than some wonderful views, great weather, beautiful skies. The guys that we're joined by today are all very experienced off-roaders. They all have rock crawlers. They all also have more overlanding rigs. Like me, wheeled all over the country. If you're gonna go in the woods, it's always good to have buddies like that have experience. Truly, they're guys that are enthusiasts and care about what we're doing, and they really do enjoy it and wanna see if we can get these rigs to the top just like I do.
Stumbled across this car, needed a motor, so I thought, great, you know, I find a motor for it, do all my own work. It won't owe me anything at the end of the day, and I can maybe abuse it a little bit, but, you know, put the Nitto tires on it. You know, it really didn't take a ton to get this thing real capable. Yeah, basically just, you know, lift tires and some body protection, and you can go have some fun.
So I'm lucky enough to call this my backyard. You know, this is pretty standard North Idaho, beautiful backcountry. It's forest roads forever. You can get lost out here. I've never been up to this peak before. I've explored this area a bunch. You know, honestly, this is where we would come like find a Christmas tree in the wintertime. I think when you get into this hobby and this lifestyle, for me, it's therapy. The shop time is therapy, as is the dirt time is therapy. I almost love the wrenching more. So coming out and breaking something means I get more of the stuff I like to do. Today I'm driving my wife's ML 500, so Mercedes-Benz, and it's an 05, it's an older rig. It's an Autobahn cruiser, right? It's fantastic. So with the Nitto Nomad grappler, that tire is sort of just aggressive enough to be able to make that thing very comfortable, safe, and give you a little bit more confidence with traction and, you know, strength without any of the compromises on the highway. Like, that thing still cruises. The thing's a blast everywhere. I mean, I'm surprised, I'm honestly surprised how much fun I'm having today.
Currently we are going through I'm going to call this the thicket. So this is an overgrown section of trail I've known about. We didn't know how overgrown it was going to be, whether we were going to be sawing our way through it or not. So far it has been, I would say, brushy and scratchy, but not impassable. So this thicket is going to take us up on the ridge, kind of wind us around. I imagine here shortly we're going to get to this reveal where you basically get to see 360 degrees of all what this, you know, beautiful North Idaho land has to offer. I think we can go around here, and this is gonna loop us back around. Dave, that's the way you used to go in there.
It looks well traveled to me, unless we can find another route in down a little bit further. There's been a lot of drama in the Silver Valley about accessing areas that are public land, but sometimes you gotta go right next to or through, say, private land, and you know, we're all worried that we're gonna lose this, you know? So you have to be respectful.
So we're just letting some guys pass, a little trail etiquette, get out of the way and make sure people can get around. Hey guys, once we get up here, we're gonna go, looks like down the ridge a little bit, and then we're gonna double back and get us to the top. They're going out the way we came in. It should be pretty awesome. We need to go left. We're gonna follow that road to the left. Not that I can throw anything with a bummed shoulder, but get some in an underhand snowball, you bet. An underhand July snowball. Swing and a miss.
Freaking end of July and there's still snow. That's fantastic.
That way. Looks difficult, we should do it.
Maybe there's more snow.
The exciting part for me is once we get up and we turn and we start heading up through the pasture towards the very peak. You start to really see stuff.
That's my spot. Woo-hoo! Yeah, there you go. I know we're not going any further than this.
With Luke and Dave, like, I know that when we go out in the woods, we're gonna have a blast. Every adventure, even a simple, you know, hour adventure from the house is gonna be an awesome day.
Four-wheeling culture in the Northwest is the same, honestly, whether you're driving a Subaru, a Jeep, a buggy. We all have one passion, that's getting outside and enjoying the Northwest.
It's about getting out. I mean, whether you're doing it in a motorcycle or in a Jeep or a Porsche Cayenne or a Mercedes or whatever it is, it's getting out in the woods and, you know, exploring what we have up here. You know, 90% of people see 10% of the country. We are at Twin Craigs Peak, which is, that right there is Latour Peak. The road comes around and there's a fork in the road, and typically there's this big shaly open climb that goes to the top of Latour Peak, and then it drops off into Mirror Lake. There's a sign that I was aware of now that Forest Service has that closed. This is 100 yards as a crow flies away, same view, same epicness, and this one is wide open. This one is maybe a sketchier drive for some because you're literally on a shale cliff. That one's potentially, I would say, a little harder. This is where we got to today, and this is pretty awesome.
We all have that adventure spirit to get out and, you know, see the tree, the terrain, the rivers, and just take it all in. As we get a little older, there's not enough time for that. You run out of time, and time's your killer. And you just got to make it when you're here. I mean, it's one of the joys that we have in the Northwest, is being able to do it so easily.
Just slow it down and find a dirt road and just go see where it goes. This is standard weekend stuff, you know, up North Idaho, Eastern Washington. This is heaven.
That's it for this episode of On the Trail. We had a great day up here. We're sitting at Twin Craigs Lookout, looking at Latour Peak. What an awesome day. I gotta thank my friends Chris, Rob, and Dave for taking time out of their day to come up here, brush fit their trucks, test out these tires, and see what we can do. Most of all, we gotta thank you viewers. If you guys can like, subscribe, comment on this stuff, Driving Line, Nitto Tires, they're the ones that make this all happen. Let me tell you, next time, see you on the trail.